Howdy there, folks. Night City has gangoons and corpo scum crawling all around it. Death awaits around every corner, and we will never know when we have taken our last breath. Our organs will be sold and our final moments will be inscribed into a BD, selling like hotcakes by a street vendor. All this to say, I freaking love Cyberpunk. The setting is ripe for such interesting pieces of storytelling and characters. Before 2077 and Edgerunners, these stories would be told around a table with close friends at one of its many tabletop renditions. And every single one of these TTRPGs is a rule that perfectly sums up why Cyberpunk is the way it is. Style over substance. Like, I could have played a normal nomad, but it's cooler if the dude who's driving the team around was also bound to a wheelchair. Is this practical? No. Is it cool? Yes. Yes, it is. But what does any of this have to do with this video? Well, style over substance usually means you throw practicality out of the window. So what is an impractical weapon that you can find within this game? Today, we're going to find out, can you beat Cyberpunk 2077 with only the Slaught-O-Matic? Let us go over the rules of this challenge really quickly before starting. All damage must come from the Slaught-O-Matic, the difficulty will be set to very hard, no cyberware is allowed, and I cannot sneak past enemies. And the outcome may surprise you. Or maybe not, I don't know. One more thing, because Cyberpunk is such a huge game, I'm not really gonna do what I did in previous videos and show off large amounts of dialogue or montages just so I can get this out quicker. I will not be recording most open world stuff I do or side quests for the same reason, but rest assured, I did those with only the Slaught-O-Matic as well. With that out of the way, we may begin. We control an NC merc who goes under the handle V, but between you and me, his real name is Sonar Cruz. He became buddy-buddy with Jackie Wells after a failed carjacking and started taking jobs to make a name for themselves. The first job where we can control V is to save Sandra Dorset from a group of scavs. And here comes a major problem. We don't have access to the Slaught-O-Matic yet. Oh no. So, how do we get past this? Well, if you've seen any other challenge runs for 2077, then you know that we can have our boy Jackie flatline all these scavs. The issue is that this takes a bit, which normally I don't have a problem with, but I don't have all the storage in the world. So, I came up with a compromise. Several sections of this game forces us to use a different weapon or to scavenge for weapons. To get past any non-vehicle forced weapons section, I've allowed Sonar, with his 3 strength, to use his fist to get the job done. This is an attempt to get through these sections quicker and save my computer from having larger video files. It'd suck if this had the opposite effect, but that probably won't happen, right? Right? After watching Jackie tackle this man through the wall and saving Sandra Dorset, we make our way back home and take a nap. Sonar's eyes start acting up, so he and Jackie go to Victor, a Ripper Doc, to get it fixed. Before heading out, 2 things occur. First, Jack tells us that he's got a job lined up from Dexter Deshawn. Second, and more importantly, we can buy our iron. Or plastic, I guess in this case. While we get our eyes fixed, let's talk about the Slaught-O-Matic. This gun is absolute gonk. Okay, it's not that bad, but it's pretty dang close. It's a fully automatic pistol with a 36 round mag and does about 11 damage per bullet. I'm pretty sure the company that made these guns were inspired by Tidor, because once you use all 36 bullets, then that's it. Yay! We'll have to reopen our inventory and equip a Slaught-O-Matic when we want to reload. Every single time. Jeez, it's like we're trying to be Jackie Estacado. Or if you haven't played the Darkness, Reaper from Overwatch. But if you run out, you can always find a vending machine and pay 100 eddies for a new one. Having to reopen my inventory every time because I ran out of ammo completely kills the flow of combat, and the fear of not having enough guns with no vending machine nearby is definitely there. But honestly, these are manageable. The bugs, however, are a different story. Whenever you throw a Slaught-O-Matic, it'll sometimes add another one to your inventory. You would think this means infinite guns, but nope. It just means you have more guns in your inventory that have no ammo. Sometimes if you hold a Slaught-O-Matic for too long, the audio starts bugging out. And the worst bug, when you load a checkpoint, any gun currently on you just has no ammo. Meaning you can die, reload a save, or even save quit if you have any of these things in your inventory. Gosh, this sucks. There has to be a way around this. We need something that can help us get past this problem. What we need is a plan. Operation I asked my mom for Senza, and she said we had Senza at home is now a go. After spending 1 hour and all of my eddies on a single NCPD scanner, I was going to pivot to doing a fist-only challenge. You know, since I'm proficient in the art of fist. This was until our savior, an Oshawott by the name of Lars Burrito, came in clutch. It turns out that he too took part of this dumb challenge and has left me some wisdom. I am not sure what this first part means, but that's because my brain is that of a bag of bricks. But that second half of the message single-handedly saved this run. If we want to have a chance of even reaching the end, we need to indulge ourselves in a practice so vile that even DVD players would turn away in disgust. Of course, I'm talking about save scumming. When we finish up a combat encounter, we will almost always drop our Slaught-O-Matics and hit that quick save faster than Kaneki can get that first hit. To ensure our chances of survival with this weapon, we will also be indulging ourselves in non-damaging grenades, primarily flashbangs. Sometimes, these flashbangs will hit an enemy and deal a minuscule amount of damage. To that, I blame the enemy for walking within my grenade's arc, much like that homeless man in the Denny's parking lot when I threw that brick at his head. And if you complain that this run is invalidated because I hit someone with a grenade, then you are a poopy head. That's a lie, because no matter how wrong you are a beautiful, sexy little thing. Now, we can truly start the run. After getting this non-removable implant, V gets into Dex's car. Deshawn lets us know that we need to steal a biochip from Konpeki Plaza, owned by the bloodsucking corpos of Arasaka. To do this, we need to grab some info from the client who set this whole thing up, and clep a Militech bot that is being held by some maelstrom. I decided to talk to the client first, just to get some more deets about the job. We meet Evelyn and her friend Judy, where they run a braindance basics with sonar before diving into a recording that Evelyn herself captured. A recording of what? The penthouse suite, currently being used by the heir of the Arasaka Corporation, Yorinobu Arasaka. We find out that Yorinobu has the nearly bored out Atom Smasher as his bodyguard, but we are here for the biochip. After some investigating, we found the location of the biochip and head out. Before leaving DeClurb, why did I write that? Evelyn stops us and leaves us with a deal to cut Dex out when we get the money. I told her I'll think on it, just to see how the rest of this heist goes. We call Jackie to meet up at All Foods to discuss on how we'll be getting the Flathead bot. Originally, I ran through this and bought the bot off these dudes, but 10,000 eddies is a lot of money. So, I decided to go with Plan B. Wait, wrong gun. Honestly, going through this is not as bad as you'd think it would be. As long as you stick to corners and be patient when you aim, then you should be good. Treating this as a semi-automatic weapon also greatly improves the likelihood of hitting crits. The main problem for this quest was Royce, but that mainly came down to a skill issue since I never fought this dude in his mech before. Once that was done though, we met up with Dex one more time before initiating the heist. Sonar and Jackie make their way through Arasaka Tower and into their suite. We control the Flathead that we brought with us and have it perched on the single netrunner watching all of Konpeki Plaza. This gives our netrunner access to the system. After a couple of hours anyways. We make our way to the penthouse and to the chip when alarms started blaring. We grab the chip and hide inside the spiller as we see Yorinobu enter with Mr. Smash. Hey, why does it look like he's looking at me? Turns out, Saburo Arasaka came into town just to get murdered today of all days. Things spiral out of line quickly. Our netrunner dies. We get spotted, and Jackie gets hit. With biochip degrading, Jackie slotted it into his chipware socket to halt the degrading process. We make our way down to the meeting rooms before I remembered, oh yeah! I don't have a Slaught-O-Matic. This section was very annoying. We still have Jackie around so he can help deal damage, but we have to pick these guys off one by one and run back so we can start regenerating our health. By far, these armor dudes take the longest. Why? Well, last I checked, fists don't stack well against armor. Eventually, we make our way down to the getaway car, get shoulder checks by Atom Smasher, and have the worst thing happen in this section. Be forced into using the Unity to take out these drones. Oh, and Jackie died also. Rip my goat Jackster. I tell Dex I got the chip before Jack passed away, and my payment was a bullet in the brain. We begin to wake up as we take on the memories of Johnny Belmont. You know, the dude who bombed Arasaka Tower back in 23. Yeah, well, we appear to be seeing what went down within that tower, and I can tell you this much, it's not using the Slaught-O-Matic as his main gun. Anyways, all you need to know is that we planted some bombs, uploaded a manifesto, have Atom Smasher crash my game, that's like, every time I've gone through that part, it crashes. And Johnny seems to be the subject of something called Soul Killer. We wake up at Sonar this time, inside of a dump, and we crawl out. Not before Dex and this guy from the heist catches us. This man, whose name we learn is Goro Takamura, flatlines Dex before taking us. He wakes us up in his car just to make us do another mandatory shootout with the Unity. Once it's done, he goes back to sleep. We wake up at Vix where he tells us that the chip we hold saved us, but now it's slowly overriding Sonar. Misty took Sonar back to his room, and we can see Sonar and Johnny's first interaction.
Stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Well, that's just not nice. When we take control of Sonar again, we have a quick chat with Takamura on what to do next. I decide on meeting with Rogue first, mostly because Mr. Belmont here actually knows Rogue. so maybe doing it will get these two boys to play nice. We meet with Rogue and after tossing a bunch of our money at her, get some information on Hellman. We find out he's ditching town and that we need some help from a nomad, Pan Am Parker, if we want to stop him in his tracks. But before we can nab Hellman, we need to help Pan Am with a sitch. See, she got into a little bit of trouble where it ended up with her car and some merch being taken, so if we can get them back, she'll help. We set up an ambush where we know the dudes with her car will show up. And when we set that ambush up, we perform the most courageous action of running away. Yeah, these guys hit kinda hard and like to grenade spam, so our best course of action is to fight from afar and be patient. Also, it was during this fight that I learned that I can shoot my own grenades. Kinda came in handy a couple times throughout the run, but overall it was just kinda there. After dealing with these guys and getting her truck back, she tells me that she needs vengeance on the dude who did this to her. Now, I should have said no, but XP. And oh boy, was that a mistake. Somehow, this den is way worse than the ambush, and I'm only saying somehow because I died less times here. You got a lot of ranged dudes, a very annoying netrunner who could kill you, and a dude with a sniper who will one-shot you if you are not careful. I was only able to get past this by running behind Pan Am's truck and using that for cover. I know we just got it and she doesn't want it scratched, but I would rather soon feel the wrath of a woman than sit through a 2-minute long unskippable cutscene. I also kinda got lucky with the sniper because he just kinda sat there taking headshots. Not good headshots, but you know. Also, a lot of you may be asking why I'm not aiming down sights. That's because I took this perk a little too literally and didn't aim down sights for a hot minute, even though I would still gain benefits of Deadeye if I just regained my stamina a little bit. After taking these guys down, we go to a hotel, deliver the merch, get separate rooms, and pass out. We wake up the next day to deal with Hellman and his AV. After crashing his transport, it was a race to get there before some of Pan Am's buddies got there and got shot up. Approaching the area, these King Tao operatives took out most of the people around except for this dude named Mitch. In order to save him, Pan Am snipes the enemies and Sonar takes a full frontal assault, because that's just the way he rolls. This part wasn't too bad. The only issue is that if you shoot the robot in the head enough times, he loses it, which is a lot less damage for us since their crit spot is gone. We save Mitch where he tells us that Hellman is being held at a nearby gas station. This gas station was the equivalent of raiding a military base. Barging in would just get us killed, so me and Pan Am just had to slowly push up, nearly running out of guns before we reached Hellman. We take Hellman to the motel room where he tells us that he can't get much done about the chip because it was still in the trial phase before Takamura takes him off our hands. Well, I guess we can try and get some deets off Evelyn. There's a problem with that. We can't get into contact with Evelyn. We ask Judy for some help and she informs us of a dollhouse she used to work at called Clouds. We head there, get a really weird therapy session, and hit a roadblock. There's an issue. See, before being able to come in here, we had to give up our weapons, and there are a lot of enemies. In an ironic twist of fate, the rule I had to get through these segments without my Slaught-O-Matics quicker made this mission take way longer. At this point in the game, we are starting to feel our lack of any real defenses and running into a hand-on-hand combat with armed combatants ends as badly as you think it does. You may be asking, how did we get past this? Well, a couple things went in our favor. First, before actually entering into combat, I respect my skills. Don't worry, the strength stat stayed at 3. All that changed was that I built more into technical ability to better my chances with grenades and health items. The only issue was we had smoke grenades, the effects did nothing, but throwing the grenade near them made him panic enough to run away. So it gave Sonar time to run up, throw some punches out, and run back to safety. Second, sometimes when I punch an enemy, they momentarily get stunned. Now, this means I can give them a good few wallops, but we do something else. If we stun an enemy and position ourselves behind them, it'll give us the option to grab them, and from there, we can give them the good old backbreaker. Very useful against the guy with 3 bars of health. Of course, the one thing that actually helped get my winning attempts in this fight, double grenade drop. We ran upstairs, talked to the dude a bit, ran to the manager, smacked his face in, read through his computer files, and bolted out of there. Man, that was so difficult. I'm curious, how did Lars Burrito get through this part?
Clouds, but before I need enough cash to buy the legs that let me jump, so I'm able to make the not-so-hidden jump, drop all my weapons in front of the window,
You can just
when they try to take all my pea shooters away from me.
The entire time? Aside from, that sad bit of information, there wasn't really anything of note with the rest of Judy's missions, when it comes to gameplay anyways. If you're really interested in what happens, I recommend you play the game for yourself. All you really gotta know right now is that we found Evelyn and found out she got the job to record inside Yorinobu's penthouse from someone who works with the Voodoo Boys. After calling Mr. Hands, no, not that one, we just wait to get contacted to meet with the Voodoo Boys. After some time, we meet with Placide where he wants Sonar to clear out a mall filled with animals. This was possibly the worst mission in the game. It's just filled with ridiculously long gunfights, multiple 3-bar health enemies, and very little breathing room. Oh, and there's a boss at the end of all of this if you didn't think it was hard enough. The best way of getting through this mission is just to lure enemies one by one and pick them off from a distance. Also, abuse the fact that they can't walk past certain doors for whatever reason. They're like deathly allergic for whatever reason. I don't know. That part was... But how do we take care of Sasquatch? Well, normally, I say patiently since you have to wait till she slams and then you could just give her a couple of back shots. With your pistol, not your dick. But I kinda glitched her out and she started shooting at me with an LMG. She's got an LMG? And then I somehow glitched her out again and she just kinda broke. Like, she just sat there. You know, I'll just take it. I ain't complaining. I don't imagine this one getting any harder. After cleaning out the animals being used as a kill switch, I'm able to talk to the leader of the Voodoo Boys, Brigitte. Hey, you're not a boy. She lets us know that she wanted the relic that's currently lodged in Sonar's neck to speak to Alt Cunningham, who was the legendary netrunner, and also Belmont's ex. Since they can't get the chip physically, they have us get into a nice ice-cold bath so we can speak to Alt. Inside, we do another one of Johnny's memory shingdings, learning more about Alt and Johnny in the process. Afterwards, we speak to Alt and learn that she can't save my life either, not without tech found within Arasaka Tower anyways. We leave cyberspace and away from the Voodoo Boys with a plan in hand. Also, originally I was going to fight them, but I don't think it would be possible because the earliest you can drop your guns and save is before heading into cyberspace, and by that point everything will more than likely despawn. Anyways, chilling with Takamura and his once business associate Oda, we learned that a parade will fly in with Hanako Arasaka aboard. If we can talk with her, maybe she has a way to help with Sonar's situation. Much to Johnny's chagrin, we're tasked with infecting one of the floats with a virus to allow Takamura on. All we need to do is reach it and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, this is where we failed the challenge. Now, I'll keep it real with y'all. I tried once outside the compound and once inside. With this weapon just being bad in combination with the other rules, I don't think it's possible as you'll die rather quickly or more likely run out of guns before reaching inside. So that sucks. But we got the float working. Let's just see if we can beat the rest of the game. In order to help cover Takamura's tracks, we have to handle some snipers as well as a netrunner. The first 2 snipers were pretty chill, no issues there. The problem was the third one. There were so many guards in my path that would kill me quickly, so I had to slowly take them out and, at one point, employ the Resident Evil technique. Let's just employ the Resident Evil technique.
You're only making it worse for yourself. I'm out.
Resident Evil technique works every time.
During this time, I also experienced the worst luck when it came to trying to find a loaded gun.
Okay, please. Oh my.
What am I doing? I can literally do anything else right now. Why is this even worth it anymore? I'm kinda hungry, I want some pizza now. I wonder if they like me. Probably not. I don't know why they'd like someone who's wasting their time like this. Might be ish.
Oh my god, there we go.
Even when we reached the sniper, the troubles weren't over. There were a couple of drones, a beefy shotgun dude, and the sniper that can one-shot you. Again, playing this slowly and positioning myself was key to winning this fight. And for all my effort, there was a Slaught-O-Matic machine, which we desperately needed for when when Oda showed up. Oda's fight was definitely the hardest fight in the run, and it's not even a competition. He's incredibly aggressive, can 1-2 shot us, has homing bullets which are more ridiculous than other smart guns, and he can turn invisible and heal. Oda was truly my Dracula for this run. Ever since I started Takamura's missions, I've been dreading to fight Oda with the rules I placed for myself. After 2 recording sessions spanning around 6 hours, on top of my motivation for everything kind of just tanking around this point due to some IRL stuff, I was really thinking of throwing in the towel and fail this challenge a second time. But I persevered, and let me tell you, I started noticing patterns. I paid attention to when I should take my shots, when I should run away. I sniffed this bastard's tactics out like he was glue. At the end of the day, all I had to do, as a Dark Souls player would say, was get good.
managed to. He's breathing. For now.
Please, V. Show him mercy.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that was tense.
I love pillars. After the intense fight, Takamura kidnaps Hanako for a meeting. It just kinda happened. We inform her about Sonar's situation before Arasaka storms us and we have to get out. I was gonna save Takamura, but after I saw multiple people with 3 bars of health, I employed the courageous strategy of running away. Sonar and Johnny hold up in a room across town before a proxy tells them to meet Hanako at Embers. There, we learn that we can help Hanako expose that her brother is Sapporo's killer, which she knew by the way, and she can help us fix Sonar. Having to think on this decision, we've come at a crossroads. After completing all of these missions, all of them lead us to Arasaka Tower, but how do we go about doing it? And who do we side with? Well, after careful consideration and working this friendship up between Sonar Cruz and Johnny Belmont throughout this entire journey, there was only one real choice. Letting Johnny take control and have him and Rogue raid Arasaka to get to the tech that can save V. After very little convincing of Rogue, we crash into the tower with our good friend, Wayland. Making our way through the floors of Sokka agents, we let Alt into the system, and she single-handedly wiped the rest of the enemies out. As we get closer, we meet our good friend, Adam Smasher. Rogue gave him a special hello. And goodbye. Here, we have our climactic battle. Johnny Belmont in Sonar's body, the borged out Adam Smasher, and Wayland. And y'all, I'm proud to tell you that this challenge has failed? Wait, what happened? 2 words. Terrible gun. Smasher himself is not difficult if you'd be patient and just loop around his arena and take aim. He's not that difficult to hit nor to dodge because he's kind of slow and big. In fact, the only thing difficult about Smasher is the lack of a consistent weak point, and even then, that's not an issue for most weapons. Not this weapon though. Here, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. With a full mag of this gun and somewhat getting the crit spots, you can barely deal 1%. And I do mean barely, because if you deal no crits, you don't even deal that 1%. If that wasn't enough, this happened on my second attempt. I had this happen a couple of times, and if I had to guess, this bug occurs when Smasher does the Rebecca special on the stairs and it just kinda breaks him. I think, I don't actually know, but why does this matter? Well, after constantly shooting him till he was around 40%, I found out I did not have enough guns. That's right, if you bring in 42 to 43 guns into this fight, you almost run out of them at the 40% mark. Luckily, Wayland is a GOAT, and he got him to 30% after 20 minutes of just shooting. This is when I completely forgot Smasher teleports to the middle of the arena and starts moving again, which resulted in a lost run. After a couple more hours of attempts, I've come to the conclusion that I had to, rather unfortunately, accept another loss. Now, I would say this is where, it's impossible to beat the game with the Slaught-O-Matic, but it's been done before. I'm just terrible at the game. What matters for me right now is if I could beat Adam Smasher with a Slaught-O-Matic. So, did I? Well, with having Cyberware, having Rogue and Wayland take care of all enemies, making sure to use the Resident Evil technique again, before Smasher to save as many guns as possible, dropping the difficulty down to hard, and using that glitch one more time, I was able to take down Smasher and the rest of Cyberpunk 2077 with only the Slaught-O-Matic. After this, Johnny gave Sonar control back to his body and stayed with Alt for the rest of his days. Although Sonar lost another ally, he can enjoy life now that he is living in the big leagues as another legend of Night City. Guys, I'll be 100% honest, I actually had a lot of fun with this gun. Like, genuinely, this was an actual fun gimmick that I liked. And you know what else? Although I did fail this challenge twice, I did make it a lot further than I thought I would with this knockoff Tediore. So I did a pretty good job all things considered. Also, if I ever do a Cyberpunk challenge ever again, I am never adding this rule again. Before this ends, I just want to thank you all for getting through this video and all the support on the last video. I expected that video to perform similar to my first video, so I was very shocked when it hit 9.6k views in a month. I hope y'all keep enjoying the content. I'll surely keep uploading since I don't really have anything else better to do with my free time. Hopefully, if I'm able to, the next video will be an RE9 challenge, which I'm super excited for, and it's why I wanted this video to be out in a quicker manner, and hopefully it is, because it's already halfway through January. One more time, quick shout out and thank you to Lars Burrito. Again, you came in clutch and saved this video from being thrown into the abyss. With that, though, I hope you all have a pleasant whatever time of day it is. Okay. Bye.